Parmenion was born in 400 BC. He was a Macedonian nobleman who was so strategically gifted that he rose to be Philip II's chief military leader and Alexander's strategos, a military general. Under Philip II, Parmenion had brought the Macedonians victory over the Illyrians in 356 and destroyed a Thessalian town called Hellos a decade later in 346. He was also a diplomat who was sent to Athens in 346 and later to Euboea in 342. In 336 BC, Philip II sent Parmenion and other leading generals of his time from Macedon to begin freeing Greek colonies in Asia Minor from Persian control. It went well until news of Philip's death and Alexander's succession reached them, demoralizing the army and leading to a defeat by the Persians near Magnesia. Parmenion was Alexander's kingmaker. Alexander clearly understood this, as many relatives of Parmenion can be found in prestigious positions under Alexander. Parmenion kept his position under Philip under Alexander. His youngest son Nicanor was made commander of the shield bearers, an infantry division. His son-in-law Caenus commanded a phalanx battalion, and his oldest son Philotas was made the commander of the companion cavalry, Macedon's defining weapon in battle. In May of 334, Alexander joined Parmenion with reinforcements, and from there the invasion of the Persian Empire really began. Parmenion was present and leading the left flank of the Macedonian force at Granicus in 334, at Issus in 333, and at Gaugamela in 331. After the Battle of Issus, Parmenion marched 350 kilometers across Persian territory to Damascus and took the Persian king Darius's treasure. He had successfully surprised the garrison guarding it, and they had handed over almost 55 tons of gold, an enormous quantity of silver, 329 female musicians, 306 cooks, 13 pastry chefs, 70 wine waiters, 40 scent makers, and the women who had lived at Darius's court. It took 7,000 pack animals to bring this bounty to Alexander. Soon after this, Darius sent word to Alexander offering a huge ransom for his mother, wife, and children, whom Alexander now had hostage, but Alexander refused. Further exchanges followed, coming to a head with Darius's offer of all territory west of the Euphrates to Alexander. Having read this, Parmenion apparently told his king that he would accept that, quote, if he were Alexander, with Alexander replying characteristically, so would I if I were Parmenion. There are numerous other anecdotes that suggest Parmenion was a very cautious man, but it does not line up with his actions, such as his swift raid on Damascus. At the Battle of Gaugamela, the Persian right wing attacked Parmenion and outflanked the Macedonian forces. But despite this struggle, Parmenion's training and discipline allowed Alexander to strike the Persian force with his own decisive blow without the Macedonian ranks collapsing behind him. It was now 330 and Parmenion was 70 years old. With the war decisively won, Alexander chased down Darius while Ecbatana, one of the Persian capitals, was left to Parmenion and his forces to capture. Therefore, Parmenion was not with Alexander when his son Philotas, commander of the companion cavalry, was accused of treason and executed. Alexander quickly sent 2 men to assassinate Parmenion, who was guarding the majority of Alexander's resources with a significant percent of Alexander's army. The men stabbed him to death without explanation before Parmenion even knew his son was dead.